Hey, 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 stay right there. I'm very excited. On this Friday, we are live here, and I'm with a guest whom I met at a mastermind, which I'm very happy to report because I facilitate masterminds. I didn't facilitate this one. I was invited because I was a top affiliate for one of their launches. That mastermind was with Callan Rush and Justin Livingston, two good friends of mine. And the woman who's with me today knows all about bios. In fact, she is a public relations maven, or I should say mavenette. I'll let her go into her background and why she's earned the right to be here. But I want you to stay right where you are because I've never realized until I met her just a few short months ago how important a bio is and how overlooked that bio can be, whether you're a thought leader or you're just starting out in your field. I remember that in the old days of direct mail and direct response marketing where we were sending out direct mail letters, the last thing I would work on was the coupon, which was the single most important thing. And many times I'd forget to put the phone number or the call to action because I was exhausted writing the sales letter. And then a mentor of mine, his name is Ted Nicholas, he lives in many different countries, but he taught me a lot over the years, and he said, do the coupon first. And so that taught me to do the offer first. And in the realm of bio or your biography, your background, write your bio first because that's kind of the offer. You are the message. You are the offer. So it's like your shadow is not going to be moving away from you. It's going to follow you, and the bio is just that. And maybe many times it's an afterthought. Are you proud of your bio? If you're not, keep watching. Do you think your bio is at a level that does justice to who you are and what you stand for? If the answer is no, keep watching. And if you want to learn how to create a better bio and take it from boring to being adoring, then stay right where you are because Nancy Juetten is my guest. Nancy, we're in the green room right now. We haven't started yet. So I'm going to ask everyone before I bring you on the big screen, whether you're a guest of Nancy's or a guest of mine. My name is Alex Mondosian. Welcome. We do this every Friday. She's been a guest of ours ever since that mastermind because she's been engaging with us. And down below, wherever you are, you could be on YouTube, you could be on Facebook, you could be on Google Plus or at marketingonlinehangout.com. Wherever you are, you RSVP'd to be here. It probably showed up on your Google Calendar, and whatever list you're on, please let us know where you're hanging out from. Give us your full name and where you are hanging out from. My name is Alex Mondosian, and I am hanging out from Marin County, California, in the city of San Rafael, which is just about 15 miles north of the beautiful Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Nancy, before we start in, where are you hanging out from, and why are you here?
I'm hanging out from beautiful Bellevue, Washington, and I thank you so much for having me, and I welcome everyone who's here. And why am I here? Because I'm starting a better business bio revolution today, and I want everybody to wave the flag and come along with me because those boring boilerplate bios need to be kicked to the curb, and everyone needs to give a refresh to their story so they can attract more clients, more speaking gigs, more media interviews, and even more powerful joint venture partnerships to deliver their message to the masses. That's why I'm here.
Well, you are looking straight into the camera. This is our first Google Hangout together. I'm so proud that you've done your homework. And if I were to say there were an ideal guest to have, you are looking at her because this is her first with me, and she's soon to be a joint venture partner, and I want to support her in the realm of what she's doing. No one does what she does, and you're in for a treat. So before we begin, I want to welcome Ian Parker. Great to be here from still sunny in the UK, wherever city you're from. I don't know what's happening. There's an anomaly in the United Kingdom, but it's sunny there. The clouds have parted, maybe because we're talking about bios. But Ian, welcome. Dr. Randy Ross, hey, all hanging out from Jersey Shore. Dr. Allen hanging out from the Great Berkshire Mountains in Massachusetts. Inside the VIP app, he will be at the Membership Site Intensive in July. So Dr. Allen, welcome. Agnesia, welcome from Johannesburg, South Africa. So wherever it is you're hanging out from, I will acknowledge you. As William James once said, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. So even if you don't have that craving, please type in your full name and where you're hanging out from. Sandy Burkmeyer hanging out from Southwest Virginia, Tomasia Leiden hanging out from Scottsdale, Arizona. If I mispronounce your names, you can mispronounce mine to your heart's liking. It's Alex Mandosian. You can call me Mandosian, Mandosian, or just Alex M, and I'm okay with that. As long as it's just not hey, I'm fine with it. Now, we're going to begin in about 2 minutes, so hang tight and get ready to type some notes and use this keyboard. I mean, engagement is what this is all about. Google was organizing the world at the turn of the 21st century, around the year 2000. They were an infant at that time. Today, 14 years later, they are engaging the world with Google Plus and Hangouts, which is what we're doing. But we're also using Facebook comments and Google Plus comments to engage and enroll with each other. We're having social conversations. And so if I were to tell you, what do? Could you tell me in a brief elevator speech, which most people call it, could you tell me what that statement could be? Well, whether you could or couldn't, that's not what this is about. This is about your bio. This is about the big version of who you are and what you stand for. And I'm going to show you before and afters of what I started with. Now, bye-bye bio, or bye-bye boring bio, is probably the most thorough worksheet and mini how-to course I ever purchased. I purchased this from Nancy at the Mastermind because I can't afford getting something for free. And I went through this whole process. I filled it out. She said I was one of her star pupils, and you know, I filled it all out myself. Why? You know why? I'll tell you why. Because when there's a family portrait and there's a bunch of family members there, guess who I look for first? Me. So I don't know if that's narcissistic or not, but I think everyone has that tendency. So for once and for all, I wanted to have these 10 bye-bye boring action worksheets and go through this process. Now, Nancy is extremely expensive if you work with her, and that's not what this is about. This is about getting you access to wave bye-bye to your boring bio. So before we begin, I'm going to go and acknowledge some more people. Carolyn Smith from Dayton, Ohio. John, I'm not even going to begin with your last name, from Alden, Minnesota. Szymanski, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Lee Munch, I'm on Long Island, New York, on the North Shore. Ray Conme, live from Cagayan de Oro City, Philippines. Wow, welcome. Richard Villasana, hanging out from San Diego on Google+. Welcome. PJ Van Hull, welcome from Dublin, California, not too far away from me. And Gene Eaton from sunny Alberta. They keep coming in and in, and Diane Gilson from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Welcome, all of you. I'll be acknowledging you as we go. Now, we will double and triple the number of people watching. That's what happens with Google Hangouts. But now I looked at the clock and we're ready to begin. So here are the promises you will be delivered. Build a better bio to boost your business. You will do that before the end of this Hangout, and you will be invited in to this Hangout before it is over, within the next 30 minutes and 40 minutes from now. And do you see where it says plus 23 there? I'd like you to plus this event. Invite people to this event. It's not too late. Bring them in. The replay will be available within minutes. You will learn how to eliminate the biggest bio blunders that squash credibility. You'll discover how to design a bio and the secrets on how to offer only the relevant information. Ask Google. Relevance is everything. And then becoming a leading expert in your field. And how does that start? With your bio. We have Nicole from Sofia, Bulgaria. Elizabeth Giacomo hanging out from Old Saybrook, Connecticut. We have Marge Coughing from South Pasadena, Florida. And Kimchi Chow. Hi, I'm hanging out from San Jose. Glad to be here. This topic is such good timing for me. I'm looking to create a great bio for my LinkedIn. Diane Gilson from Ann Arbor, I already mentioned you. The list goes on and on and on. This is not only for LinkedIn. This is for your profile on Twitter. This is great for your profile on Facebook. Anywhere you go, you may have the big version, and then you have pared down versions. Ernesto Mercado from Hayward, California. We're going to begin. Let's go to Nancy Juetten. Nancy, you build a better bio. What has just given you the right? Why have you earned the right to talk about this topic? Tell us.
Well, thanks first for having me, and thanks to everyone all over the world who's joined us. This is going to be super fun, and I'm really glad you're here. What qualifies me to tell you about this? For many years, I was a very powerful publicist in the Puget Sound region, representing big name clients with names that you would know. And what would often happen is I would ask the CEO or the president or the thought leader, well, tell me about yourself. And what they would say is invariably something like, oh, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I say, you know what, that's just not going to do it. We've got to get to the meat of the matter and say what it is that's special and different about you. And all of a sudden, bios started to take on a whole lot more relevance, and everybody started getting a lot more excitement built. But then when the recession happened and a lot of these big, powerful people were shorn the door, and a lot of other people had to go out into outside of what Pam Slim calls escape from cubicle nation, it seemed like a whole lot of folks didn't want to get jobs. They wanted to hang out their shingles and attract clients. So I wrote a book called Bye Bye Boring Bio, the ultimate action guide to attract speaking gigs, clients, and media interviews. And just by magic or serendipity, it found an audience, and I started selling them around the world. So now I serve clients around the world in English-speaking nations who say, my bio is boring, can you guide me to the promised land? And with products, systems, and programs, I do that. And what happens for them? They attract clients, they attract speaking gigs, they attract media interviews, they attract joint venture partnerships. But I think the most important part of all is this really healing work that happens for people. Because whatever you used to do, you may not be doing now. You can't find the common thread from what you used to do to what you're now doing, and it all just seems like message muddle instead of something magnificent. And so by having the tools and the training to guide you through to build a story that actually resonates, that solves a problem, that appeals to a specific audience, all of a sudden your confidence is fabulous, your clarity is fabulous, and you're ready to stand up and shine, and all of a sudden you're a magnet for more of the right opportunities. And that's why I say we're on a business bio revolution. It starts today, and I can't wait to elucidate on the fact.
Well, you mentioned the word healing. Before we talk about what a boring bio is, why do you call it healing? Because I do think it is a healing process. I went through it, and it's such a weird word. It doesn't even seem appropriate, but it's so true when it deals with taking a bio from being to boring to adoring. Why is it so healing?
Well, okay, so there's a common ailment out there, and there's real estate. Actually, someone actually said this to me one time. Bios are like wallpaper, he said. Nobody cares. Well, maybe that was true a number of years ago, but with the escalation and exponentiation of social media, that's your first written impression. And if you're schlepping it together like it doesn't matter, here's what I believe to be true, and I don't remember who said it first, but how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you've schlepped together a story that does not speak your wow in specific, terrific terms, maybe that's a symptom of a much deeper problem. I think that the first impression we make needs to rock and roll, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so let's start with the what. What is a boring bio? Give me, by definition, you know, there's an adjective here, boring. What is that?
Boring. It means
there you
that
go.
We are sleeping. Instead of an eye-opening wow reaction, we have what we call author, speaker, coach, snooze, you lose disease. It is a story that reads like everyone else. There's absence of differentiation. Frank Perdue of Perdue Farms said, it takes a tough bird to make a tender chicken. If he can differentiate dead poultry, what there is possible for you to differentiate yourself from every other author, speaker, coach, leader, workshop leader, or whatever the case may be, with some powerful adjectives or speaking of the transformation so people actually want what it is that you are. Author, speaker, coach is the generic labels of the hats that you wear, but there is nothing wow about it. And so I want you to think about the wow behind your words, because if you have no wow behind them, it's boring, it is not eye-opening, it's a snooze invitation, and that does not invite opportunity.
Okay, so the snooze is like, oh, okay, that's not something I'm interested in. Does that mean they stop reading the bio?
Yes, it's like run, Forrest, run in the opposite direction. This is not what we want. What we want is for people to say, wow, I want to call that person because he has a focus on my particular audience, my particular, forgive the phone, people. He has a focus on my particular audience, my particular problem, and is qualified to provide the solution better than anyone else on the planet. And even better yet, there's a call to action to pick up the phone or call or do whatever the case may be. That's a client attracting bio.
Listen, if you were not good at what you didn't do, what you did, the phone would not be ringing. So there is living testimony that you do it well. Now, why are bio makeovers so critical to any business? If the thing is boring, it needs a makeover. If you have ladies or gentlemen, right? If you have a boring accessory like a boring pair of glasses, I have 12 pairs of glasses. I'll never get eye correction surgery because I have too much invested in my glasses. But if you have boring hairdo, ladies, or guys, if you have a boring shirt, if something is boring, you lose interest. So you need a makeover. In the same vein, why do makeovers, why are bios so critical to get a makeover? Because I've never seen a bio, truly, that can't use a makeover.
Well, why do they need a makeover? Because we are all in some stage of career reinvention, evolution, and progress. Who we were 6 months ago is likely not who we are today. Our accomplishments are changing. The emphasis of our business is changing. Our niche may be elevating to serve even higher people on a even higher level of success. Just like you change the smoke detector battery every 6 months to make sure the house doesn't burn down, you need to take a look at your story everywhere you show up, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on your About page, on your speaker page, how you get introduced when you're doing a teleclass like this. Everything needs to be consistent across all platforms to say the story that's most relevant, congruent, and true for you today, because your star is always rising. You may be recalibrating. So if you haven't looked at your story, this is a very powerful thing. Go to your website today as if you were searching for someone just like you. And when you land on your profile and you read about yourself, are you palpitating? Are you excited? Are you leaning in and saying, I want that? Are you thinking, oh boy, but do I need to give this a makeover? Because chances are, if you haven't taken a close look at how you're showing up to your own eye, chances are there's opportunity to improve.
All right, so let me show you my own makeover. I'm going to show you my warts, my blemishes. This is the old one. It's still online, and I have to endure embarrassment. Now, this is called the Alex Media Kit, and what you see here is something I invented in 1999. They called me an egomaniac in the year 2000 because my pictures were all over the place, but I thought between putting my physical picture and something that was virtual, it's kind of like why Sesame Street works, because if you put two virtual characters together, like Big Bird and Cookie Monster, it's boring, kids fall asleep. If you put two real characters together, like two human beings, that's boring. But if you put the real with the virtual, the kids and adults stay awake. All we are grown-up kids anyway. In fact, we never grow up. We just learn how to act in public, right? So this concept here really works, but this is an old picture, and this is an old bio. So since 1993, Alex Mondosian has generated nearly $400 million in sales and profits for his strategic alliance partners, clients, students on 5 continents. Whoopee skip. His expertise is in the electronic marketing and broadcast, such as teleseminars, webinars, podcasts, and most recently Google Hangouts. His marketing strategies help convert his annual income, blah, 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 blah. Alex's blog is read by over 155,000 subscribers, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Susie Orman. Oh, I have a female there, a male there. I even have His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Mikhail Gorbachev, former premier of the Soviet Union. He's pioneered internet marketing innovations such as lifetime goal is blah, 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 blah. Some pictures and then some video samples, etc. Okay, now this is my media kit on my blog, which is going to change. And the reason it's going to change is because I did a makeover. Who did I do the makeover with? Well, I did it with Nancy. Now, the first thing I did is change my picture to make it a little bit more recent. Now, Nancy hasn't even seen this because she had the old one. So, look, she's not a miracle worker. She can only work with what I gave her. So she had another picture here, but check this out. Alex Mondosian, the world's leading master trainer to virtual trainers. Now, this is an egoic title that Callan Rush teaches, and you can speak more to that later on. But who are 100% committed to growing their skill sets, heart sets, mindsets, and balance sheets? Look at that. Boy, she's going from head to finance, faster, better, and easier. One of my favorite quotes, it's mine, caring is the ultimate competitive advantage. Why? Because no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Virtual trainers the world over turn to master trainer Alex Mondosian to expose and get more marketing reach for their clear, compelling, consistent marketing messages faster, better, and easier. What do? By demystifying for millions with power within the electronic media such as teleseminars, blah, blah, blah. So far, so good. That's kind of like a breather. It's like an exhale. I mean, it's brilliant. Since 1993, here I started with bragging earlier on. Here she makes me the Warren Buffett of the internet. Why? Because people say that. Because of my unique ability, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm saying blah, blah, blah. I should be saying yada, 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 because that's a little better Eastern term. Okay? Because his all-in commitment, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, okay? She got this from what I gave her in my bio outline. Trainer starting at age 4. I mean, I would have never thought of putting this stuff. Why? Because I'm too close to it. I cannot see the label from inside the jar. Here's my favorite sentence of all. Now, you know, there's a certain type of elderly woman, and I'm going to make fun of the Armenian population because I'm Armenian. And there's an elderly woman, usually she's a widow, and she goes to church every single Sunday, and she has bluer hair than usual, right? We call that the blue-haired woman from, Pasadena, California, who happens to be Armenian. I have aunts who are like that. So I'm poking fun at my own kind. I'm sure I'll have blue hair at some time. But here she says, Alex's path to become a master trainer and sought-after keynote speaker. Look at the embedded commands here and the insinuations. For appreciative audiences online and on stage was paved early in the halls of St. Gregory Armenian Church in Pasadena, California. There are Armenians right now going, yes, I go there, that's me. When he was 4 years old, his parents volunteered him to recite classical Armenian poetry in the presence of elderly blue-haired widows to rave reviews and enthusiastic applause. Listen, even the blue-haired widows are laughing at that, and they're going, what's so wrong about that? Look at your hair. You got no hair, you know. He's been educating and inspiring, and it goes on and on and on. Now, this is different than the bio that I had. So we're going to talk about how to do that makeover, but tell me the before and after. You do this all the time. Jennifer Beal, who's watching right now, and she is in Toronto, and she's going to be one of my strategic alliance partners in July. I can't wait for that one. You're going to be in October sometime. You have done makeovers for her too. When you do the makeovers, I know that you don't do them anymore where you're hands-on because it's excessively expensive, but you teach people how to do it themselves, and you do it in a very, very gifted and simple way. Why do those makeovers work so well? Why are they so dramatically different? What do you see that other people can't see?
Well, I think that I am a brilliance reflector for others, but I put things through very specific filters so there's some learning opportunity for everyone. Number one, I want to know who you serve. I want to know the wow that you bring about. I'm looking for some kind of a sassy soundbite at the very top that speaks your philosophy, that has people saying, wow, I'm in love with you already. I'm also looking for the specific terrific results so that people can say, wow, I'm ready to whip out my wallet to have some of that for myself. So that would be sassy soundbite, succinct story, stunning result, and then something about you personally that makes me fall in love with you. When I was reading about you, Alex, when you told the story about in the template, client attracting template number 3, you know, how did you know this was going to be your path in life? And you told this story about the blue-haired ladies in church. The thing about that, it's so memorable. It's so retellable. It's the kind of thing that gets people talking, and it's also very endearing. And I think that what a big mistake people make with their bios is they're so boilerplate and boring, there's nothing memorable about them. And so I remember that about you, and when I was looking at Jennifer's bio, and she's awesome. She owns Unleashed PR in Toronto and leads 2 of the largest, most influential business networking groups on the planet under her leadership. What was the issue in her particular case is, it's right here. She had her bio in the first person, and she said, I'm a compulsive networker and promoter and great at connecting business owners. Well, that's okay. But it's so much stronger and more powerful for her expert positioning for her to describe herself as business networking expert and power connector Jennifer Beal of Toronto, Canada. She connects successful business owners to lots of prospects in a short amount of time. She has referred people who have landed deals generating as much as $200,000 from a single connection. If you don't read anything more, you're thinking, boy, I want some more of that. If she can do that for them, maybe she can do that for me. Maybe I better give her a call. This is all about what Harry met Sally in the restaurant, let's get them at hello. Let's have them at hello. Let's not bore them to tears. Let's wake them up and say, I want some of that. Whip out the wallet. Let's have a chat.
Well, let me tell you something. We are getting requests for my bio, and I only read a few sentences, so I'm going to send a PDF version of it. Now, I'm sending, I think it's version 4. We're not done yet. It's going to be done next week. It's going to be up on my webpage, along with my new demo reel, which, Nancy, you've seen, and very few people have seen it. I'm so excited. I love watching myself on stage. I'm sorry. I'm totally vain, but sorry. If I'm depressed, I watch that, right? Or I read your testimonials, whatever. But I'm going to make a PDF of my bio, and then Sean's going to put it up at marketingonline.com/Alex Bio. Now, look what I'm doing. Those of you doing Hangouts, or you've taken my Hangout Marketing Secrets course, I just gave Sean the heads up because he's preparing. As soon as I press send, he's going to get it. He's producing. Sean is at this computer where you see this banner. That's his. And here at the very bottom, you see a little video, and we're in the middle of this Hangout. So when we refresh that page, I wanted to say more than 23 pluses. You see 23 next to share event. Let's make that 50 before we're done, you guys and gals, because we're about to put this thing on overdrive. Now, Leonardo Bustos from Mountain Center, California. John Bosch here from sunny Wales. Sunny Wales. I've been hearing a lot of sunny this, sunny that, sunny Washington State. Do you want a sunny or cloudy bio? Well, chances are it's just as cloudy and foggy as that bridge, suspension bridge going to the tree to life. That's what I call it. You can call it a tree to knowledge. Why be cloudy? Have a clear day and uncloud your bio. Sandra Waldron, hi, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Carrie Hagensmith, hi, from Roseville, California. Jacques, he says, near Montreal. Must be a small city near Montreal. Michelle Vialta, hanging out from Calistoga. That's in California, I'm assuming. Stephen Sapiri, yo, he says, you need new updated bio for my new personal branding. I'm doing business with Steve. He's already given me advice. I need your new bio. So thank you for that, Stephen. Tell me something I don't know. I'm already embarrassed. Question from Cameron A. Bailey. Is having the same bio on all social profiles, copy and paste, is it penalized? Now, let me answer that question. My answer to you is it doesn't pay to have the same bio on all social media. It does pay to have one giant bio template that you are aided and assisted with Nancy's templates, but I'd like you to have it different because Facebook people are different than Twitter. Twitter is like ADHD, like they're twitching all the time, right? And then you didn't know this was the comedy show, right? Okay, I'm doing the North Shore next week, so just stay with me. The next thing you need to know is, LinkedIn is different. So every social media should have a different bio, but work with the master bio that you can get from Nancy, and then you go from there. Crystal Oliveira from Clovis, California. Virginia Parsons, tune in from Reno, Nevada. Paladin, fully present from Burbank, California. Glenn is hanging out from Christchurch, New Zealand. Wow. This is a question from Richard. What's your page to see your new bio? I'm going to send it so it's online in a moment. There is no page for it, but you just, goosed me for it. And then Jean Eaton says, so third person is better than first person? Why don't you answer that question first, Nancy, and then I'll send this email out to Sean, because the social media is going crazy right now. We have 3 times as many people viewing than we did 10 minutes ago. So keep people coming here. It's really easy through Facebook and Twitter. Nancy, answer that question. Third or first person or second? What is it?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're going to be introduced from a stage onto a radio show, a television program, or any other broadcast venue, you absolutely need to have a third-person bio ready to go, because you want that person to be able to grab and go, read it, and know how to say and spell your name. They do not have time to change your first-person bio into a third-person bio, and so you need to make sure that you have it ready to go so you can have the confidence that you're going to be presented properly. On a home page, for example, and on your social media, you can use first person, and that's fine. I'm a big fan of this one big idea. One size bio does not suit all situations. You need to be dressed and ready to go for the right opportunity. So for your press releases, for your speaker introductions, for these kinds of things, third person all the way. For more personal communications, first person is fine.
All right, I'll tell you another tip too. If you're on stage and you're being introduced, I'm vehement about this. I don't know how you feel about Nancy, but when I'm introducing someone and I give great introductions and people are standing and cheering when people are about to come on stage as one of my guest speakers or I'm emceeing a group, I never give the name up front. I start with curiosity, and it's a different kind of bio. What I do is I just take out the first name and I tell them what he did or she did, what they were all about, what they've done, their accomplishments, so on and so forth. And then I say, ladies and gentlemen, please stand up and give it up for, and then I give the name. So for a stage presentation, I like to part the curtain at the end, and that's a little different bio or introduction than you would typically have on a website. What are your thoughts, Nancy?
I agree with you, and I also want to say that if you have an unusual name like Juetten, rhymes with button, or Mondosian that could be said a whole variety of different ways, make sure that that speaker introduction or whoever it is that's doing the speaking knows how to say it, because your name is the most important thing there is, and you want to be seen, heard, and celebrated and have it punctuated and pronounced properly. The other thing, and it's a common mistake, is that when people have a bio that speaks about everything they've ever done, this is not what the audience wants to hear. They want to hear something like, this was actually said about me. Nancy helps you make your points with pizzazz. She's a word wizard. She takes the best of everything you have to offer, sprays it in the air for everyone to see. You look and sound like a professional, just like that. Please welcome Nancy Juetten to the stage. It's so memorable. It's so pithy. It's so cute. These are things that people have said about me that are fun for the ear, that get people in the audience grinning and winking and standing up. So when someone is introducing you on stage, make sure there's something relevant, congruent, and if it's appropriate for it to be winking and grinning when you're getting there, then by all means put it in there, because you want people smiling before you get to the stage.
There's no question. Let's get to the bottom line. Okay, how do you make any bio unboring? Give me the catch-all, and then we'll get into blunders and mistakes.
You make a bio unboring. The single biggest thing you can do is tune into your ideal audience first so they feel seen, heard, and welcomed before you talk about yourself. Because tuning into your ideal audience radio station is a way for them to know that you're paying attention to them and serving them first. That's the single biggest secret that's unknown. You should do it right away. It's not all about you, because you want to make sure you accomplish an objective. If it's all about you, it is wallpaper. If it's all about you in service to the right people with the right result, it's a billboard for your brilliance, and it invites an opportunity that may pay off right away, and that's why this is important.
All right, awesome. And just so you know that we work quickly, if you simply go to marketingonline.com/Alex Bio.
It's Better Bio. Better Bio. It's Better Bio?
No, well, that one is yours. I'm going to give that in just a moment. My bio that you did for me, because people are saying, where can I get Alex's bio? Well, it's not absolutely done yet. This is version 4. Marketingonline.com/Alex Bio. You are in for a much bigger treat than my bio. You're going to find out how to do it for yourself, and no opt-in required. Stay tuned for that. I think you got it in the background. Nancy just gave it to you, but I'll give it to you in about 3 minutes, so stay right there. Biggest blunders. What are the 3 biggest blunders that anyone makes about their own bio or someone else's to squash credibility?
Well, the third biggest blunder that folks make is what I call too much information, or rather too much irrelevant information. This is when you put everything you've ever done in your life, even though you're not doing it anymore, into your story because you just had to get every award, every accomplishment, every media placement, every little log cabin in Minnesota starting place story that you could possibly think about. What I want you to think about is, what is your objective? If you want to attract clients, make sure everything you put into that story is relevant to that objective, and leave the rest to the cutting room floor. It's the biggest mistake that people make. Another thing about too much irrelevant information is not recognizing that Brevity is beautiful. I'm reminded of that movie Mozart, where the symphony creators were trying to create wonderful music for the king, and the king said, you know, that's a pretty good symphony, but it would be so much better if there were just fewer notes. Less can be more. Brevity is beautiful. So get to the meat of the matter quickly so that you can get on with it, which is all about the ka-ching and the opportunity, and not so much all about you.
All right. Well,
I just lost you, Alex. Oh, there you
well,
are. Okay.
you lost me, but I got something a lot more important. I got you. Now, this is a special report, and I want all of you. Did I mention all of you? I want all of you. Let me say it again one more time for emphasis. All of you to pass this on to everyone you know now. And let's really make this a tsunami of enthusiasm and give some love back to this wonderful woman. She has worked her tail off to get this to you, and no opt-in required. Simply go to marketingonline.com/better bio. marketingonline.com/better bio. marketingonline.com/better bio. Okay? Now do that now. Just go ahead and do it in a separate browser, and then I'm going to show you the most important page on that whole dang report. And it's this one. Follow the 5 simple steps to prepare your story so you're ready 24/7. Repeat, 24/7. Again, I'll say it one more time, 24/7. That means at any time. If someone calls you up and you're going to be in Oprah's magazine, well, that's 24/7. So when opportunity knocks, you have these 5 steps. Decide, reflect, prove, add, prepare, and bye-bye boring bio. Talk about this model because it is an ascension model. How does it work? I'll keep it on here so that people see it because it's about healing your boring business bio to attract clients and cash now. Go for it.
So the trouble is most people just put the words on paper without thinking about what the ultimate result that they want. So what I want everyone who's listening today or watching forever, what is the end result that you want? I want you to be 24/7 ready to say yes to opportunities so that you never drop a ball and trip. So let's just say you want to attract a client with your story. So you start with that decision. You want to attract a client with your story. That's what you need right now. So step 2 is you reflecting on the who your ideal client is, the how you deliver your particular end result, and the wow that is waiting for your client. Here's where you can speak to your stunning results, the points of differentiation, the things that set you apart so that people feel even more confident that you are the perfect athlete to deliver the magic. The next step is for you to prove your value and impact. And here's where you share your credentials, your experience, your awards, your recognition, testimonials. And as I'm talking about credentials, I also want to make sure that you're aware of this other little tip. Alphabet soup cannot necessarily serve you. If you have a lot of credentials beside your name that the average 9-year-old does not understand, that has like an arm's length kind of reaction instead of a lean in and learn more. So my advice is spell it out or leave it out or add a paragraph somewhere lower in the program so that people can see how you've got a commitment to lifelong learning and it continues to serve people in deeper and bolder ways. But don't let alphabet soup define you because it's the results that you bring about that clients are paying the big bucks to welcome. The next step is add your personality. And this is where this whole wallpaper bio thing comes into place. Blah, 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 boilerplate. You've seen one, you've seen them all. Author, speaker, coach, snooze, you lose. Don't let this be your story. I want you to put some personality into this so that people can actually experience you and get the heart of you and why you do this work in the first place. Just like Alex was telling his story about getting his experience as a trainer from the blue-haired ladies in the Armenian church. There must have been a moment in time when you knew that this was going to be your path in life. Well, tell us about it so we can fall in love with you and know that you are the perfect person for us. The 5th step in the process is to prepare the stories that are right-sized for the situation. Because here's the thing. What if you wrote a book and all of a sudden every 20 minutes someone from the media was calling you to say, I want to have you on NPR, I want you on ABC, I want you on Oprah TV, I want you on the talk show. They're going to want your 2-sentence introduction. They're going to want the 5 questions you like to be asked and answered during an interview. They're going to want to see your picture. They're going to want to know what your book cover looks like. If you are ready for opportunity when it knocks, the beautiful thing is they are whistling Dixie that they called you because you just made their life easier and you've just served their audience like a rock star. It's that stumbling and bumbling and hurrying up at the last minute to try to respond to things that has some people wishing they had never called. So what my intention or my wish for you is, if you are called to go to a bigger stage and have bigger success, I want you to get ready to go to the red carpet as if it was happening tomorrow, because then people with big names call your name and they are smiling and referring you to everybody else that they know who's even playing bigger than you are, or they are as well. What if that was your situation, instead of hiding behind your computer, struggling, not having any organization to your process? What is the ultimate result when you have all this put together? You're ready 24/7. You glide through the door with grace and ease. You have bigger stages, bigger clients, bigger opportunities. You're making more money. Your confidence is fabulous. Your clarity is fabulous. You're shining brighter. You are a billboard for everything that you say that you are. Earlier in the call, I said how you do anything is how you do everything. If you really want to go big time, get this thing ready to go. Because if there's anything I could tell you about what has happened in my own life and success, it's readiness. I'm like a Boy Scout for readiness, and when people call me, they get a head whip reaction and say, holy moly, I had no idea there was so much power under the hood. What if they were saying that about you? That's the beauty and the benefit of being ready. And the other thing is, if you're not ready, you know what? That's a hidden recipe for self-sabotage, and I want that to stop as soon as possible.
All right, well, I have some news for everyone. There are 3 M's to marketing. Now, I run marketing online. That's a pretty darn good URL for any kind of website on marketing. And it's about to get a facelift and a makeover, just like my bio. But there's the message, the market, and the media. And I've been grappling again and again and again, which of these 3 are the most important? Is it message? Well, the message costs money, but if I don't have a really clear message, then I don't make money. Is it market? Well, the market gives me money. They have the wallet, but they can also be problem children, and they also can detract business away. Or is it media? Well, the media cost a lot of money, but there's some media that work better than others, and if you find the right media at the right time with the right market, with the right message, then you become wealthy. So which of the 3 are most important? I want you to vote. I want you to vote. To you, there is no right answer. If you were to choose one and your life depended on it, which is most important? Is it message? I'm going to give you my answer. You can't say both. Be decisive. Is it message? Is it market? Or is it media? And I want you to write down which one it is and why, and write that down in the social conversation down below. You guys are going crazy with the comments that are happening right now. I'm so proud of you. People, I now have 4 times as many people on this Hangout than I did 30 minutes ago. Now, we're going to go live. We're going to give you a link to come in here and ask questions in about 7 minutes. But before I do, I want to talk about the design steps, and then we'll go back to this question, which is the most important. Elena says, great info, Alex and Nancy and team. Thank you very much. You're welcome. We're not done yet. Hold your hats. So, bio design. What are the how-to steps to design the perfect bio? Let's go through the anatomy of the perfect bio. Go for it, Nancy.
Well, the how-to steps, we kind of just did that. We decide what we need, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the one big thing that I really want to say. Remember when you were in college and you had an undeclared major and you were bobbing and weaving through all the different courses and you couldn't quite decide, and because you were bobbing and weaving, you were not able to distinguish yourself as an expert and become fabulous? Well, as soon as you declare your major, you all of a sudden get a level of focus and clarity, and all of a sudden you can distinguish yourself. So I would like everyone to decide and declare your major to be major and start today. Do you want to be the world's leading master trainer to virtual trainers worldwide? Do you want to be the world's leading better business bio expert? Do you want to be, what is it that you want to be, and how bold can you make it? because if you can name and claim this bold expertise and declare it and be it, all of a sudden people can find you, refer you, and do business with you, and that is what it's all about. If you Google author, speaker, coach, it will not set you apart. Lisa Nichols, who was a total rock star, I think only as that #4 in a Google search for author, speaker, coach. If you're calling yourself that, please stop. Let today be the day that you declare your independence from that sort of generic label. So
All
that's
right. You know what, Sean, let the record show, author, speaker, coach, expert. Those are going to be our hangout titles from now on. I want to be #1 there. I just have a challenge. We know how to do it, and we have the bio to do it, so let's do it. I want to be #1 in less than a month. Put note to self. All right. Now, I mentioned message market media. I'm not going to go there yet. I want you first to go to marketingonline.com/better-bio, because you are getting this without an opt-in. I do that deliberately because I believe any guest I have deserves an engaged audience, and an opt-in does not make an engaged audience. What makes an engaged audience is quality. So I want you to see what you get. Heal your boring business bio. Boredom is a disease, folks, to attract clients and cash. This is not a soft science. This is a hard science. It's like trust. Trust and cash go hand in hand. Having a better bio is a social lubricant, better than alcohol, to get people to love you and smile and say, I want it. The BioDoc offers tips and story makeovers to show you how. There she is, the business bio expert, and then it just goes on and on and on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my video and testimonials here too, because I love getting free promotion if she allows me to.
well. You know what I want to do, Alex? I'm going to do a volume 2, and with your permission, I'll put your bio first.
Oh, no, you don't have my permission. Not at all. Okay.
And here's the thing about this cool tool is I lead the virtual Worldwide Get Your Story Done workshop from time to time. I'm enrolled in it right now. I've got hundreds of people in it. But the neat thing is it's all about getting it done. If your bio is wallpaper, an afterthought, something you schlepped together at the 11th hour and you don't feel proud of it, the neat thing about this booklet is you can see real examples from people like Sandra Yancey, Larry Benet, Christine Kloser, Vinca Hart. These are folks that have worked through my system and come out on the other side with this bodacious, delicious story that really rings true for them. And there's also this interview with me in Forbes magazine where I actually made over the reporter's bio before she interviewed me, and she showcased it on Forbes. So you will learn so much by reading this tool, get inspired by the powerful examples, and there's all kinds of ways for you can apply this information to your expert advantage starting today. Because what if you could get in the next 30 days a new client? What if in the next 20 minutes you could get a new client? What if your name is on the door and you've got an all-star team who has lackluster bios that all of a sudden are blockbuster bios? So instead of people asking for you to do the work, they're gladly asking to work with your all-star team. You're making more money, your team is more engaged, and everybody's happy. So there's a lot of good stuff in here, and you'll love it, and you'll profit from it. I promise you.
I promise you too. In the next version, in the URL here, please put a big B, a big B, a big B, and a big B. Big buy, big B, and big for bio, so we can see it really clearly. Buy, boring bio. That's unsolicited advice from the unboring internet marketer. Now, take a look at the table of contents. The table of contents is the best kind there is. They're all case studies, and there's so much to choose from, so she knows what she's doing. Once again, I'm not an affiliate of hers, okay? We're not selling anything here. You're crazy not to go and get this thing and pass it on to others. And notice what she's done with this book. We're not creating an opt-in. We're creating a relationship, because we know that your bio can be better. We're not saying it's boring, but it can be better. All right, so let's come back to, before we talk about how to become an expert in any field, and stay tuned, you're about to come in here. I'll give you a link and you're about to come in, so get your mice ready, aim, and get ready, but not yet. Message, market, or media, which one's important? Well, we have about 18 votes for message, 3 votes for media, 3 votes for market. I imagine I'd get more votes for media because media is really important. Message must be able to show that you can solve their problem or make their desire come true. That's Ray. Lisa says, message. If you don't have a clear, compelling message, you have nothing to market effective and nothing for the media to grab hold of. Michael says, message because it converts good media and marketing. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you my answer is message, and it's for a different reason. Now, there is an old adage. It's on one of my blog posts. Marshall McLuhan said, the message is the media is the message, and he was wrong. I believe he was wrong. He's brilliant, much smarter than me. He's no longer with us. But I believe that the message is the message, the market is the market, and the media is the media. And when you have the perfect message to media to market match. Now, Dan Kennedy says the perfect message to market match. I disagree with that as well. I don't disagree with Dan. He's much smarter and wealthier than me. But I believe that you have to have the perfect message to media to market match. You need all three. You got to go 3 for 3. And of the 3, what's the most important? Where do you start? I believe you start with the message. Now, here's why. Because I look at it like this. The message is black, the market is red, and the media is blue. If you have one medium, then you're on life support. You need many. This is a bicycle wheel, okay? But the message is here. Now, the message is connected to the market, and the spokes connect the media, or the mediums, plural. If one of these break, you still got others, right? Many people just have one of these. Well, if this is the hub, then that becomes you. You are the message. You are not the market. You are not the media. You are the message. Say, I am the message. And guess what? The message is your bio. That's where everything starts. So that's why I believe it's so important to have your bio down, and that's why we're focusing on this topic. And you know what? I'm not really doing it for all of you as much as I'm doing it for me, because I've been waiting to get my bio online. Now I got to get my butt into gear and do it, and I'm putting pressure on myself. So become an expert in any field starts with your bio. How could you possibly say that?
If you don't do it, you are sailing in a sea of sameness. You know, I think I heard Lisa Sasevich say, do not wait for someone to give you the crown in your space. Go ahead and declare yourself as royalty in your space, name it and claim it, and be it. I think it's Guy Fieri, the self-proclaimed mayor of Flavortown. I love him already. He's declared himself the mayor of Flavortown. Bill Barron declares himself as the master of new client enrollment. There's a gentleman named Dan Savage, who is America's leading sex advice columnist. Well, what do you know? If you're interested in that, well, go get it. Brene Brown, who wrote The Gift of Imperfection, who has also been on a number of viral TED Talks that are just amazing, she says that what we have here in America is this slash career, and I think we're killing ourselves with our slash career. Just the other day someone said, I'm a lawyer and I'm a filmmaker. Well, here's my question to you. If you're going through a serious legal mess and it needs to come out to your benefit, are you going to take your hard-earned cash to the lawyer who's dividing his or her attention between lawyering and filmmaking? I don't think so. I think you have to declare your intention to be major in your lane, and you have to be a rock star in that lane. And if you get the elephant under the tent one toe at a time, and if after they're in the tent doing business with you, you want to tell them about other roles you play, well, that's great. But I don't think that the slash career is serving most of us who want to get big as soon as possible in our specific area. So I want you to declare your major.
Yeah, and you can't split the baby. It's an ancient proverb. 2 mothers go to a king. The king in his wisdom says, split the baby in half, give one half of the baby to one mother, the other half to the other. And the real mother said, no, give it to that woman, and we know who the real mother is. So you can't split the baby. Now,
well, and you know, Dr. Phil McGraw, he says you can't ride a horse with 2 behinds.
No, you can't. No. Although a behind has 2 sides, that's not the same thing as 2 behinds. All right. So here we go. Here is our review. What is a boring bio? Well, you found out. Go back to the recording. Why are bio makeovers so critical to business? You know now. Sunny or cloudy bio? What kind do you want? Well, whether you live in the United Kingdom or in the state of Washington, you know that sunny's more fun than cloudy, and fog is not good for the mind or for thinking. You want something that's clear and sunny, and your message comes in with the bio. How do you get your bio to be unboring? Well, you learned it here in the special report at marketingonline.com/better bio. We'll show you how. And get in Nancy's list. Get her to teach you. She and I think alike, so if you like me, you'll love her. Those of you who like her, I hope you like me now too, but this is just the beginning of both of our tribes converging. What are the 3 bio blunders that squash credibility? Well, you found that out earlier on. marketingonline.com/better bio. Forward that, steal it, okay? Take that bio overview and just send it. Forward it to people. You're not stealing it, right? That's what she wants. She wants as much exposure as possible. Take a look at why. It's very well done. Bio design and the how-to steps, she covered that as well. Message, market, or media. You know my favorite is the message. It's not only because it's my favorite, it's because it's the most important. If you don't have a clear message, if you don't have a collaborative message, if you don't have a consistent message, then all of this becomes worthless. And your market will not know what you stand for. So get your message really clear. Not what do you do? That's what I hear. Okay, what is the message? Well, you are the message. Let's start with you, and that starts with your bio. And becoming an expert in any field starts with your bio. Let's invite the folks in here, Sean. Great job today, Nancy. Is there any question I didn't ask that you'd love to answer now before people coming in?
Well, this is one thing I really want to say that's really important, having been involved with helping people with their bios since I wrote the book in 2008. One of my sassy sound bites that I believe really strongly is that it's your story, tell it well. And everything I've created is designed to help you do that, because you know what? Your journey, your path, your mission, your big why, this is very personal. And if you're someone who said, I don't have time to do that, I'm going to delegate it to someone who can go excavating for the great stuff, no, you need to take responsibility for your own story, and the systems and the tools and the methods that I've been elucidating on here will absolutely make it easier for you to do that. I want you to love your story as much as you possibly can so that it's brilliant and is a billboard for your brilliance instead of wallpaper. I want you to say, yes, I'm ready to do it today, because the marketplace can celebrate with you doing that. So it's your story, tell it well. That's my most important message.
All right, that's awesome. And then here we are with Dr. Allen, and we are moving up in viewership. Dr. Allen, media is what you have. It's the VIP app. It's the powerful app that we'll be introducing at the membership site intensive, and people are watching this event, this hangout, from the app. It's a desktop app. Great place to put a bio. What's your question for Nancy?
Well, first I want to say that Dr. Allen is happy to be here to talk to Nancy, and I'm in third person today because it seems appropriate. But Nancy, you float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. When I listen to your talking, I get how you do anything is how you do everything, bumbling and stumbling. Spell it out or leave it out. Lean in and learn more. Great stuff. So my question is, what Dr. Allen wants to know is there a fine line between a bio and a sales page? It sounds like we're starting to cross that line a little bit.
I think that we have to be who we are. You know, I'm a word wizard, and this is just the way I am, and people tease me that I'm sort of mystical and magical and brilliant, and this is just the way I am. And so the way I show up, you know, it's a walking, talking poster child of what it is that I am. So I want you to be relevant and congruent. You know, don't be something that you're not. That's what authentic visibility is all about. But I cannot divorce myself from this, you know, wordplay. It's just the way I am. And so is there a fine line between? Yes, there is. But I think the most important thing is for everyone to have a distinct and true tone of voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I love the way you speak. So I wasn't making fun of you. I was actually complimenting you.
Thank you. You know, it's a funny thing. I mean, you know that expression, you know, the muscle that you use the most regularly is, you know, the one that's in the greatest shape to make the biggest difference. And so I work with people's bios all the time. So the word wizardry is just the thing that flows out of me like music. And so that's the value that I can bring to people who can't, maybe that's not their thing. They need a better way to say it that's got some sass, you know, pizzazz. You know, I'm your gal. You know.
Well, If you spot it, you got it, Dr. Allen, just to add to it. And part of the reason why Nancy and I are friends is because she heard the Alexisms at the mastermind and she kept taking notes and stuff. And I go, what's the big deal? But she just, hadn't seen it or heard it. And then now I'm taking my notes for her. So if you spot it, you got it. That means you got it as well. You're projecting, Dr. Allen. Thank you.
Hey, there you go.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Randy, you're up.
Hello,
Unmute yourself. Hi.
Nice to be back. I have a question. When you actually do your bio makeover and you think you did a good job, so what I would do next is have people look at it for me and tell me their thoughts. What am I asking them to look for to know if I did a good job?
Well, I remember a quote from Lou Tice who said, "Take care who you give sanction to." This is not something you share with your parents, your husband, your kids. What I would do is share it with your 5 most important clients who get you and totally understand what you're about, and say, does this ring true for me, and is this something that you feel was as a billboard for my brilliance? Because, sometimes people don't have the right tools to tell you the truth. I mean, that's why you have to take care who you give sanction to. So, when I'm working on messaging that's really important to me, I go to my best clients and I'll say, is this landing for you, and do you think it could be broadcast? I mean, even I ask my clients for support sometimes. So I want you to, that's why in my worldwide workshop I actually provide bio booster shots for people who are participating, because everybody needs somebody to reflect their brilliance, and I can call folks on their malaprops, if you will, and say, that doesn't land, and how about this instead? So that's my advice, is be careful who you ask for input. Don't you borrow bread and milk from somebody when you're baking a cake, but don't ask for bio advice from somebody who doesn't know what a good one is. Ask your best clients, they'll tell you.
Let me tell you something. I have to tell you my experience, and I'm going to tell you flat out. Never give it to someone who loves you. And that could be who loves you most of the time, like a spouse, or someone who loves you all the time, like a parent, or your children. Don't ever give it to them. You'll never get the truth. Also, I don't give it to my clients, because that opens the door for free consultation, or that opens the door to them wanting to impress me. I never give it to my own team members, because they want to please me and they're not going to say anything that's candidly true. Now, who does that leave? Well, that leaves a lot of people. They could be mastermind partners, they could be accountability partners, but let me give you a food for thought and send it to someone so you can reactivate former clients or patients or customers or students, whatever you call them. I send out, and I'm about to send out my bio to get their thoughts on people who have defected from me, divorced me, people who've left me, and say, look, I could have sent this to my mother or my sister or friends and clients or my team members, but they probably wouldn't give me the truth. You've left me, so you got nothing to lose. I want your candid feedback. And then just give them a form, and they're going to give the candid feedback. Now, what am I doing? I'm smuggling my new bio to them. And that's called a customer reinstatement program, and shame on them if they don't come back. So that's my 2 cents to you, Dr. Randy. What do you think?
Well, I want to say one other thing, if I may.
Sure.
Not everybody likes the pen. That's what the beauty of client attracting template number 3. But here at home, my husband is a financial advisor, and he wanted to add staff because he didn't want people always asking to speak to him. So he brings on this financial advisor, and she says, she's good with numbers, words not so much. She says, you've got a half an hour to get this up and running and on the website, and that's that. So she does. The very next day, someone sees her story on the website and says, she sounds like just what I'm looking for. Can I please have an appointment with Amy? And within 24 hours, it was a 4-figure engagement with the financial planner. So here's what the greatest test of all is, to use this information and put it on your website with a very specific intention that will attract a client right away. And when someone pays you money within 24 hours, well, what more proof do you need? Action is the great equalizer. Waiting for perfection is never going to deliver the goods. You just got to get out there.
No question. Randy, does that answer your question?
Both of them are great information, and this is something I've needed to do probably for 10 years, so thanks for the kick in the butt.
All right, well, let's make sure you follow through and get that kick and make it well received. I know you're a Yankee fan. I don't know if I agree with you, but please do what it takes to follow through on this one, yes?
Are you allowed to say that with Brandon Steiner maybe in listening distance?
Yeah, because Brandon is nonpartisan. I mean, he will pimp out any team as long as they sign his poster. So I can say that to anybody, yes.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy,
Yeah.
we're going to go and do a final word. You've seen this before, so be prepared for that. Any thoughts before the final word?
I would love for you all who are on this call to share this special report with everyone in your world who wants more clients, more speaking gigs, more media interviews, and more opportunity. I believe that with all of us carrying the flag together, the Better Business Bio Revolution can make a huge difference in the marketplace. Will you carry the flag for me and say yes? Share it with 10 people. Let's make a difference. Let's see it in a way that can make a huge impact. Would you do that for me? That would make me so happy because it's your story. Tell it well. Start today.
And what Nancy just did is what they don't do in TED speeches. She gave a call to action, and that doesn't mean buy now. That means bio now. I'm just making sure Dr. Ellen has plenty of food for the rest of the day. Now, Sean, I'm going to ask you to bring your head forward so we can see your face. There's a question from Lisa saying, when you don't have a client base or proof of what you do or can do, what are your suggestions for adding substance to your bio? Well, that will be the next time that Nancy comes on. I'm going to give you my answer, is who needs clients, okay? If you have little blue-haired women stories like I do from St. Gregory Armenian Presbyterian Church or Armenian Apostolic Church in Pasadena, California, and if you have these little anecdotal pieces about your past, people get lost in the story, and they really, just like my old bio, who cares who you're doing business with in the beginning? Just give something of interest, and if they can relate to it, that's the winner. We'll get Nancy's answer when I invite her back again. That's a auto-suggestion saying she'll be back. Sean, what's the final word?
For me, it's authenticity.
Authenticity. Well done. Dr. Allen?
For me, it's Action Jackson.
Action Jackson. All right. Randy?
Getting found.
Getting found. Awesome. Nancy?
Getting it done.
Getting it done. For me, it's clarity. I didn't have clarity because it was just an afterthought. And you know what? When I wrote my own, I kind of felt weird about bragging. But when I had a template, it became easier because I just followed the simple steps. And that's what that action guide, consumer awareness guide, special report can do for you. One last time, marketingonline.com/betterbio on behalf of the Marketing Online team, Sean, our producer, everyone else on this hangout, and Nancy Juetten, I want to wish you good luck, good sales, and I can't wait for our paths to cross again. All good wishes. We'll see you next week.